Bumagsak naman ang US stock market and it wiped out $4 trillion in value. This year, Tesla is down by 43%, Nvidia has dropped by 19%, and ang S&P 500 index is down by 5%. Grabe, everything is red. Maraming analysts are warning about the potential recession and the media is amplifying investors' fears. Pero panic-driven decisions often lead to regret. I've been investing for over 10 years now and I've seen this before. As a financial coach and an overseas Filipino based in Dubai, I've helped my clients gain clarity and control over their finances during times of uncertainty. At alam ko na reacting out of fear is the worst move. Kaya what you're seeing right now is a report na isend ko sa clients ko. And I thought na baka pwedeng gawan ko na rin ng video ito to help spread awareness kung ano man dapat gawin pagdating sa mga stock market crashes. Kaya sa video na to, I'll be covering what actually is causing this market to drop, why investors are panicking, and how smart investors respond instead of making costly mistakes. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear game plan to navigate this downturn. Pero bagong lahat, gusto ko munang introduce kayo kay Mr. Market. Galing sa book na The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, mentor ni Warren Buffett, the best investor of our time right now. Some days, Mr. Market is super optimistic and he's full of confidence, excited about the future, and is willing to pay really high prices for the stocks. And there are days na he wakes up in a bad mood, he's fearful, panicking over bad news, and selling stocks at really low prices, even though many businesses are still strong and profitable. Ganito exactly kung paano mag-behave ang stock market. It reacts to news, emotions, and short-term uncertainties. And other traits of Mr. Market, maliban sa pagiging irrational niya and being emotional, is he imposes no obligation to act. Or meron kang freedom to buy, hold, or sell your positions. And nagbibigay lang siya ng opportunities based dun sa fluctuating valuations, pero it does not guide your investment decisions. Kumbaga, you still have that free will to decide. And markets are emotional in the short term. Pag chinek mo tong Fear and Greed Index ng CNN Business, talagang ang baba ng score niya. Currently, naka-extreme fear mode siya. The next question you have to ask as a smart investor is why? Diba? Bakit ba siya in fear mode? Right now, Mr. Market is feeling nervous and he's worried about 4 things. So the first reason is yung interest rates and inflation are still high. Inflation remains at 2.9%, which is still above 2% target ng Federal Reserve, meaning hindi sila magkakat ng interest rate anytime soon kasi they prioritize keeping inflation under control rather than stimulating economic growth. And ano bang impact nito sa stock market, Kuya Jay? So, pag mataas ang interest rate na ini-impose ng central bank, companies face higher costs para sa mga loans nila, which will slow down yung kanilang expansion. Ganon din sa mga consumers dahil masyadong mahal ang cost of borrowing, mahal magbayad ng credit card nila, ng mortgages, or any other loans na meron sila right now. Kaya they would rather just keep their cash instead of borrowing money and spending. And ang impact niyan sa stock valuation, ganun din. It becomes pressured. Yung mas mataas na interest rate makes fixed income assets tulad ng bonds become more attractive. Tawag sa mga gantong galawan ng central bank is what we call yung mga monetary policies that they change on a regular basis para ma-maintain ang balance sa economy. Kailangan yan, okay? Another thing that is very important right now is yung tariff. When we talk about tariffs, we're talking about yung fiscal policies na ang nag-i-impose naman dito ay yung gobyerno. And currently, daming mga drama pagdating sa mga tariff na ini-impose ni Donald Trump. So earlier this year, President Donald Trump initiated a series of tariffs targeting major US trading partners. Andiyan na yung Canada, Mexico, and China. So sa Canada and Mexico, 25% yung in-impose niya for all of the imports. China naman, it's an additional 10%, making it total na 25%. And ito pa, dahil habang ginagawa ko tong episode na to, ang dami mga bagong mga tariffs na in-impose. So noong March 10, yung Canada naman nag-impose ng 25%. March 11, gumante si Donald Trump with an additional 25% sa Canadian steel and aluminum imports. Kaya naging 50% na. Taas, grabe, di ba? And today, habang nirecord ko to, sinuspend naman ng Canada yung kanilang 25% na electricity surcharge. Kaya Grabe, ibang klaseng nangyayari ngayon sa tariff wars sa US and Canada. This matters kasi nga, pag tumaas yung tariff, diba, tataas yung cost of imported goods. And yung businesses will pay more for raw materials and components. Tumataas yung expenses nila eh. Bumababa ngayon yung profits nila, numinipis. Dahil nga, malaki na expense nila. And dahil doon, yung mga investors, inisip nila, bababa yung profit ng company na to when they do their forecasting. Kaya they would assume na yung stock prices will drop. Dahil dyan, lumalago lalo yung fear na magkaroon ng economic slowdown. Ripple effect, di ba? Nagkakaroon lalo ng increased uncertainty. Talking about yung pagkakaroon ng market crash or talking about yung mga slowing of economic growth, isa rin yan sa mga naging reason kung bakit bumababa ang stock market right now. Ang Atlanta Fed's GDP now, they estimate na magkakaroon ng minus 2.4% na decline ang US economy. Kaya pwedeng talaga magkaroon ng contraction. And unfortunately, no, kung 2 quarters na mangyari itong slowdown na to ng GDP ng isang bansa or ng US, then it would lead to a recession. Ganun siya kinakategorize. And economic slowdowns, factors that typically drive stock market corrections. So, yun na yung kasunod nun. And dahil nga, people think na overvalued na yung US stock market, ang daming mga record-breaking na peaks na na-achieve ang S&P 500, and it is bound to have a correction. When we say correction, it occurs kapag yung isang stock index declines by at least 10% from its recent peak. So currently, ang S&P 500 is approximately at 9% mula nung kanyang record high of 6,144 nung Feb 19. So, konti na lang. Malapit na siya mag-correct, di ba? And yung Nasdaq na index, yung Nasdaq Composite, has already declined by over 13%. So, nag-correct na yung index na yon. And itong factors na to have led to heightened volatility with media amplification, contributing to a widespread panic. Dumagdag pa tong mga marites na to, right? So, yung mga headlines na nakikita natin online can really cause panic, lalong-lalo na sa mga investors who are moody, parang si Mr. Market, right? So, ano ba ibig sabihin nito para sa'yo? It means na for younger investors, this is an opportunity. And if you have years or decades before retirement, itong downturns na to are actually an opportunity for you to buy. Meaning stocks are on sale. Kasi hindi mo pa naman kailangan yung pera ngayon eh. You need it decades from now. Kaya lang if you are a retiree, then you need to plan for volatility. If you are withdrawing from your portfolio, kailangan mo ensure na yung asset allocation mo includes stable investments katulad ng bonds or cash reserves. Para hindi ka mag-sell at a loss. And currently, yung mga nakikita mo right now na nandyan sa portfolio mo, those are what you call paper losses kasi hindi mo pa nang binibenta yung mga positions mo, yung mga assets. Pero again, if you are a retiree, then most likely, kailangan mo talagang paghandaan ang iyong cash flow dahil sa mga volatilities na to. Lahat ng to leads to a crucial question. How should long investors respond? Kasi most of my clients are long-term investors dahil bata pa sila, katulad natin. Hindi mo kailangang magpanic. What you require is perspective. The first thing that you have to do is to adopt a patient approach. Market downturns are normal. There are actually 4 stages ng market cycle, okay? Ng stock market cycle to be very specific. Andiyan yung accumulation, sumunod doon is yung markup. Next stage is yung distribution na ibig sabihin nandun na siya sa peak. Yung mga stock prices are nandun na sa kanyang record highs, interest rates rise to control inflation, and volatility increases and some stocks start to decline. Last part ng cycle na ito is yung markdown or contraction, wherein nakikita mo na bumaba na yung prices ng mga stocks and yung mga investors are slowly moving towards bonds, golds, and cash, yung mga safe haven na assets na yan para makipang kanilang pera from falling, and central banks prepare stimulus measures to slow down the downturn. Siguro napapansin mo na no, kung nasan tayo right now. We appear to be shifting from a late bull market or distribution phase to an early bear market or markdown phase. This means na mas marami pang volatility that you can expect, pero it also has the potential na magkaroon ng mga buying opportunities for long-term investors, like what I said kanina. And the next thing that you have to do is to ignore the noise or have emotional discipline. So what you're seeing naman ngayon is yung cycle of market emotions. And currently, nandito ngayon yung mga tao sa panic, pababa na hanggang sa magkaroon ng hopelessness. Ito actually yung best time for us to make more money. Karamihan ng mga investors, yung mga, lalo na yung mga bagong investors, no, they would usually buy habang pataas yung market. So nagmamahal lalo yung value nung stock na yun, and mas konti lang yung shares na nabibili nila. Pero actually, if you are a really smart investor and you are there for the long game, malayo pa yung investment horizon, then ito talaga yung time na you should be greedy. Naalala mo yung quote ni Warren Buffett, right? Like, when people are fearful, be greedy. And when people are greedy, that's the time that you have to be fearful. May isang quote si Benjamin Graham dito sa kanyang book na Intelligent Investor, no? Sinabi niya doon na in the short run, the market is a voting machine. But in the long run, it is a weighing machine. Ito yung tsura niya. Kasi nga, short term, puro mga emotions lang yung umiiral, yung mga balita, yung mga uncertainties. Over the long term, it is a weighing machine. Kasi makikita mo na yung kanyang fundamentals nung company na yon is actually balanse sa market value niya. And the next thing that you have to do as a long-term investor is to really focus on your long-term goals. Dahil you have to align your investment strategy with your personal financial objectives, katulad ng retirement planning or wealth accumulation, rather than reacting sa mga day-to-day market fluctuations. And tingnan mo na yung history. Over decades, ang S&P 500, even yung PSEI, and even yung global markets have gone through wars, recessions, and financial crisis. Pero they have always recovered. Tingnan mo itong S&P 500. Dito, mula noong 1926, nagkaroon siya ng gains of approximately 70% of years and declines na about 30%. Ibig sabihin, 7 out of every 10 years, up yung market. Ang S&P 500, to be very specific. And when we talk about yung global markets naman, hindi lang sa US, mula nung 2012 up until 2023, 8 out of 12 years is up ang performance ng global market. Sa emerging index, 7 out of 12 years, approximately 58%. And sa Philippine Stock Exchange naman, mula nung 1985 to 2025, it was up in 24 years. Nasa 62% yung kanyang success rate, diba? Na mataas siya. Kaya lang, if you really check yung compounded annual growth rate ng Philippines, it's only around 5.8 or 5.9% dun sa performance niya since 1987. Kaya I really suggest my clients na they go for global investing. And another thing na kailangan mong maintindihan is yung impact ng pag-time ng market. Kasi nga, dahil nga may uncertainty, you might feel na, teka, lalabas muna ako and babalik na lang ako kapag mataas na uli yung market. Pero, based sa data, if you just miss yung 10 best days ng market, you already lost a lot of money. Ito yung example ko na if you've invested 10,000 sa S&P 500 nung 2008 and you missed yung 10 best days niya nga, then ang laki na nawala sa iyong pera. Kaya, it's always wise to stay invested regardless kung down yung market. Kasi again, long term naman yung goal mo. Hindi mo ba kailangan yung pera? So, hindi mo kailangan i-withdraw yan. And siguro inisip nyo ba, teka, sayang naman yung naging gains ko in the past. Pero hindi mo rin malalaman, di ba? Baka lalo pang tumaas yung value nung index. Kaya might as well just keep buying and do cost averaging. Ibig sabihin, you will buy at any time, at any price, at a regular interval. So kung titignan mo itong diagram na to, no? So kahit mataas yung value ng shares, you'd still buy. And pag bumaba siya, tignan mo, no? Mas marami kang na-own na assets. Kasi nga, mura siya nakasale siya Pero you're just putting in the same amount of money every month, every quarter, or semi-annually. Dahil the more na you do this on a regular basis, then mas maraming shares yung mabibili mo talaga. Kaya cost averaging over the long term is one of the best practices when it comes to investing. And then you have to utilize yung passive investment vehicles and consider investing in index funds or exchange traded funds, aka ETFs, that track yung broad market indices. Kasi nga this approach provides diversification and reduces the need for active portfolio management. Pero tingnan nyo tong holdings ng Vanguard Life Strategy Fund. Sobrang diversified niya across different countries, sectors, and companies. Kaya yung risk mo talaga is well managed. Kung down yung US market, then there will be times na yung other markets can compensate for this type of situation. And dahil nga, meron pating itong composition ng bonds, hindi malaki yung impact ng pag-crash ng equities kasi nga mayroong nagbabalanse ng iyong portfolio, which is yung mga bonds nga, like what I said. So, ito pa, if you are losing sleep over market drops, then ibig sabihin, baka masyado mataas yung risks mo, mataas yung exposure mo sa stocks, and dapat mo dagdagan ang iyong bond allocation para hindi ka masyado magpanic. Again, whenever you invest, it has to be based on your risk tolerance and your risk capacity para you only take the risk that you are comfortable in taking. All right? And last tip that you can do during this time na the market is crashing is you let Mr. Market serve you, not guide you. Na-mention na yun kanina pero gusto ko lang i-highlight ito na yung purpose ni Mr. Market is to present you with options and not to instruct you with actions. Ibig sabihin lang nito is you still have to do your own research when it comes to this. Dahil iba-iba pa rin ang ating financial situation and iba-iba ang ating financial goals. So, even though meron akong report na sinesend out, I still encourage you na magkaroon ka ng isang informed decision making by doing your own research. So ano ba yung key takeaway natin dito sa video natin na to? Number one, si Mr. Market is emotional, irrational, and inconsistent. He'll have good days and bad days, pero it doesn't mean na you should make investment decisions based sa kanyang mood swings. Okay? Number two, the stock market has always gone through crashes, corrections, and recoveries. The worst mistakes happen when investors react emotionally instead of following a strategy. And what matters is not how you react, but how you respond to your situation. Okay, those are two different things. And lastly is those who make decisions based on fear often regret it, while those who stay the course and keep investing come out ahead. If you're wondering where I'm investing globally to stay diversified and not be affected by the ups and downs of the global stock markets, you can watch this next video where I break down my current investment strategy and the global markets I'm focused on. And comment the fire emoji, yung apoy, okay? If you've reached till the end. So yun lang, maraming salamat. Bye-bye!